Hey there! Welcome back to Color and Craft Haven, a little corner of calm where we can slow down, breathe, and add a little color to the day. I'm so glad you're here, settling in for a cozy creative moment. Whether you've got your colored pencils laid out neatly, your markers uncapped, or you're just listening along while the day unwinds around you, this is your invitation to relax and create at your own pace. Today we're diving into fantasy coloring tips with a gentle focus on mythical creatures, gemstones, and enchanted forests. Fantasy pages are such a beautiful escape because they invite us into worlds that don't have to follow the rules of reality. There's no wrong color for a dragon, no single correct shade for a glowing crystal, and no limit to how magical a forest can feel. That freedom is exactly what makes fantasy coloring so soothing and so rewarding. Before we get into specific tips, let's talk about mindset for a moment. When you're coloring fantasy art, try to let go of the idea that you need to make it look impressive or realistic. This is cozy creativity, not performance art. Fantasy pages are perfect for experimentation, play, and intuition. If a color feels right to you in the moment, that's reason enough to use it. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. Let's start with mythical creatures, since they tend to be the stars of fantasy coloring books. Dragons and unicorns, griffins and mermaids, phoenixes and gnomes. These creatures don't exist in the real world, which means they don't come with expectations. One helpful approach is to think about mood rather than realism. Ask yourself how you want the creature to feel. Gentle and wise? Fierce and powerful? Playful and mischievous? Maybe calm and ancient? Let that emotional tone guide your color choices. For example, softer creatures often shine with pastel palettes, muted tones, or gentle gradients. You might blend soft blues into lavender or pale greens into warm creams. For more powerful or dramatic creatures, deeper jewel tones, high contrast, or bold highlights can add intensity. Rich reds, deep purples, midnight blues, and metallic accents can all help a creature feel legendary rather than ordinary. Texture is another wonderful thing to play with when coloring your mythical creatures. Scales, fur, feathers, and fins all offer opportunities for visual interest without requiring advanced techniques. Instead of filling an area with one flat color, try layering 2 or 3 shades in the same color family. Even light pressure variation can create depth. You don't need to blend perfectly. Gentle inconsistency often adds charm. If you ever feel stuck choosing colors for a creature, look to unexpected inspiration. Gemstones, sunsets, deep-sea creatures, and even stained glass windows can offer color combinations that feel magical without being overwhelming. You don't need to copy these sources exactly. Just let them spark ideas. Now let's move into gemstones, which are an absolute joy to color and incredibly calming. Gemstones are all about light, transparency, and depth. One of the most helpful tips here is to think in layers rather than in single colors. Even if you're using markers or pencils that don't blend easily, you can still suggest depth by choosing a light base color and then gradually adding darker shades in corners, edges, or around internal lines. When coloring gemstones, try leaving small areas lighter or even white to suggest reflected light. These highlights don't have to be precise or realistic, they just need to exist. A few uncolored spots can make a crystal feel luminous without any complicated technique. If you prefer a softer look, use gentle pressure and build color slowly instead of pressing hard right away. Color choice for gemstones can be realistic if you enjoy that, but fantasy gemstones don't need to obey real-world rules. You can create pink sapphires, teal amethysts, or glowing rainbow crystals. You can even blend unexpected colors together, like warm gold fading into icy blue. The key is to keep transitions soft and intentional, even if they're imperfect. Another cozy tip for gemstone coloring is repetition. If a page includes many small crystals, repeating a limited color palette across them can feel soothing and cohesive. This repetition can be deeply relaxing, almost meditative, as your hands move through familiar motions and colors. It's a wonderful way to quiet the mind. Now let's wander into enchanted forests, which are often some of the most immersive fantasy scenes. Forests can feel intimidating at first because they include so many elements: trees and leaves, roots and moss, light and shadows, and sometimes even hidden creatures. The trick here is not to color everything with the same level of intensity. One helpful approach is to choose a dominant color mood for the forest. Is it a cool, misty forest with blues and greens? A warm autumn forest with golds, browns, and soft reds? A moonlit forest with silvery tones and deep shadows? Once you choose a mood, let that guide your color palette and keep it limited. Depth is especially important in forest scenes. It doesn't need to be complex. You can create a sense of distance by using lighter, softer colors in the background and slightly darker, richer tones in the foreground. Even a subtle difference can help layers of trees and foliage feel more dimensional. Don't worry about perfect perspective. Suggestion is enough. Another cozy technique for enchanted forests is selective detail. You don't need to color every leaf individually. In fact, letting some areas stay loose or softly blended can make the scene feel dreamlike. Focus your detail on areas that draw your eye naturally, like a winding path, a glowing mushroom, or a tree with a hidden face behind its bark. Light plays a huge role in making a forest feel enchanted. You can suggest magical light by gently layering lighter colors over darker ones, or by adding soft halos of pale yellow, mint, or lavender around lanterns, crystals, or fireflies. Even without advanced blending tools, light pressure and patience can create a glowing effect. Throughout all of this, remember that your pace matters. Fantasy coloring is especially well suited to slow, intentional sessions. You don't have to finish a page in one sitting. In fact, many people find it more relaxing to return to a page over several days, adding small details when the mood strikes. There's something comforting about revisiting the same world again and again. If you ever feel overwhelmed by a fantasy page, it's okay to simplify. You can ignore background elements, limit your color palette, or focus on just one section at a time. Cozy creativity isn't about doing everything. It's about doing what feels nourishing in the moment. As you color, notice how your body feels. Are your shoulders tense? Try relaxing them. Is your breathing shallow? Slow it down. Coloring fantasy art can be a gentle form of mindfulness, especially when you allow yourself to stay present with the movement of your hands and the quiet rhythm of your coloring. It's also completely okay if your finished page doesn't look the way you imagined. Fantasy art invites interpretation, not judgment. Every page you color is a reflection of where you were mentally and emotionally in that moment. That's part of its beauty. So whether you're bringing a dragon to life, letting gemstones glow softly on the page, or wandering through an enchanted forest one color at a time, I hope these tips help you feel more confident, more relaxed, and more at home in your creative space. Thank you for spending this quiet creative time with me today. I hope it gave you a little pause in your day and reminded you that creativity doesn't have to be loud or rushed to be meaningful. That's it for today's colorful time. Let me know in the comments what kind of fantasy pages you love coloring most. Creatures, crystals, or landscapes. Take care, stay creative, and I'll see you in the next one.